Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Devam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Paripracharya Astottara Shri Shivadis Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari Ribo. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Tamal Krishna Goswamiti Namini. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namini. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shanyavadi Paschyata Desatarine. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nasta Praeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Hare Krishna. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Creation, Chapter 14, The Disappearance of Lord Krishna. text 6 onwards. I will read up to text 8, since there are no purports. Whoever is writing the shloka is doing such an excellent job. They probably go back Godhead simply writing the shlokas. Oh, honestly, it's so nice. It is said that Rupa Goswami had such a beautiful handwriting. So kudos to whoever did that. Yeah. Text 6. Yudhishthira vacha sampresitaha dvarakayam Jishnu bandhu didrikshaya Nyatum cha punyashlokasya Krishnasya cha vichestitam Yudhishthira vacha sampresito dvarakayam sampresito dvarakayam Jishnur bandhu didrikshaya Jishnur bandhu didrikshaya Nyatum cha punya shlokasya Nyatum cha punya shlokasya Krishnasya cha vichestitam Krishnasya cha vichestitam Yudhishthira vacha sampresito dvarakayam Jishnur bandhu didrikshaya Nyatum cha punya shlokasya Krishnasya cha vichestitam. Anyone? Yudhishthira vacha sampresito dvarakayam Jishnu bandhu didrikshaya Nyatum cha punya shlokasya Krishnasya cha vichestitam. Yudhishthira vacha sampresito dvarakayam Vishnur bandhu didrikshaya Nyatum cha punya shlokasya Krishnasya cha vichestitam. Yudhishthira vacha sampresito dvarakayam Vishnu bandhu didrikshaya Nyatum cha punya shlokasya Krishnasya cha vichestitam. Mothers. Yudhishthira vacha sampresito dvarakayam Jishnu bandhu didikshaya Nyatum cha punya shlokasya Krishnasya cha vichestitam. Yudhishthira vacha sampresito dvarakayam Jishnu bandhu didrikshaya Nyatum cha punya shlokasya Krishnasya cha vichestitam. Yudhishthira vacha sampresito dvarakayam Vishnu bandhu didrikshaya Jnatum cha punya shlokasya Krishnasya cha vichestitam. Anyone else? Yudhishthira vacha. Maharaj Yudhishthira said, Sampresitaha has gone to Dwarakayam, Dwaraka, Jishnu, Arjuna, Bandhu, friends, Didrikshaya, for the sake of meeting, Jnatum, to know, Cha, also, Punyashlokasya, of the personality of Godhead, Krishnasya, of Lord Shri Krishna, Cha, and Vichestitam, program of work. Translation, there's no purport. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Maharaja Yudhishthira said to his younger brother Bhimasena, I sent Arjuna to Dwaraka to meet his friends and to learn from the personality of Godhead, Krishna, of his program of work. Please repeat. Maharaj Yudhishthira said, to his younger brother Bhimasena, I sent Arjuna to Dwaraka to meet his friends and to learn from the personality of Godhead Krishna of his program of work. I'll continue text 7 and 8. Text 7. Gatha sapta dunamasa bhimasena tavanujaha nayati kashyava hetu naham vedadam anjasa. Since he departed, 7 months have passed, yet he has not returned. I do not know factually how things are going there. Text 8. Api devarshina dishtaha sakaloyam upastitaha yadatmano angam akridam bhagavan utsishrikshati. Is he going to quit his earthly pastimes as Devarishi Narada indicated? Has that time already arrived? It's a long purport by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. Purport. As we have discussed many times, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, has many plenary expansions, and each and every one of them, although equally powerful, executes different functions. In Bhagavad Gita, there are different statements by the Lord, and each of these statements is meant for different plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions. For example, Sri Krishna, the Lord, says in Bhagavad Gita, whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice or descendant of Bharata and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. What verse is that? Huh? Yeah, I know it's 4.7. So what verse is that in Sanskrit? Say it. Yada yada dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijami aham. Yeah, this is a famous verse and we should know this. Huh? And the next one, to deliver the faithful, to annihilate the miscreants, and also to re-establish the principles of occupational duty, I appear in every age. What verse is that? Paritranaya sadhuna vinaschaya cha duskritam dharma samsapanartaya Sambhavami yuge yuge. So these two verses are very important verses that every devotee in ISKCON should know. This is like your calling card, So when you meet someone, you say, why we are worshipping the Lord? These are some of the reasons. You should quote these verses. In fact, I know one Maharaj, he passed away. He would always quote one verse. No matter which Bhagavatam verse, which Bhagavad Gita verse, he will only quote the same verse and he will preach so nicely. So it doesn't matter. As long as you know one or two verses nicely and you know our philosophy properly, it's enough. You don't need to memorize the whole Bhagavatam. If you can, that's good, but you don't have to. So, and then continuing. Anyway, before I go there, in the first paragraph, Srila Prabhupada says plenary expansions. What do you all understand by plenary expansions? Some of you must know. Okay, we are part and parcel, but we are not plenary expansions. We are expansions of Krishna, but we are we are not angsas, we are not vibhuti, we are vibhangsas, minute. Okay? Part and parcel of Krishna, that is true. But what are plenary expansions here? Yeah, plenary expansions are expansions predominantly that are mainly in the Vaikuntha planets. When the word plenary expansions are used, we're talking about Vaikuntha expansions. Or within the Vaikuntha spiritual sky. Like you said, Balaram and so on like that. But when they come down to this earthly realm, they are known as avatars. Okay? So try to understand these terminologies. It's not that you don't know, it's just that you're not familiar with it. Right? Because you all know everything, just that you're not familiar with some terms sometimes. Yeah. So some of these expansions can expand. So the first plenary expansion is Balaram. He comes out spontaneously. Krishna doesn't think that I have to expand or what. He just boing, then he comes out, Yeah. Says, I'm Balaram. And then he wants to simply serve Krishna. So therefore he is Adi Guru. He sets the standard by which we all try to emulate and follow in service attitude. He teaches that. He is the Guru, Adi Guru. He teaches us how to serve. So that is the first plenary expansion. And from him, subsequent expansions come within the material realm and within the spiritual realm also, right? The first quadruple expansion, anyone knows? Yes. So normally we say Vasudev, Pradyumna, Sankarshan, Aniruddha, like that. It doesn't matter actually. I'm just teasing you. Doesn't matter. Now from this first quadruple expansion, which expansion expands further into this material realm? Which one? Sankarshan. Okay? So from this Adi Sankarshan, who comes out? This seems like a quiz today, but anyway, it's just good for you also. From this Sankarshan, who expands? This is the first expansion. So there's a Narayan form that comes first, a four-handed form. And from him comes the second quadruple expansions, again in a set of Vasudev, Pradyumna, Sankarshan, Aniruddha, like that. And from this second quadruple expansion, they then move into the earthly realm. Okay? And this is within the material realm, and he comes first as the Sankarshan expands into the first Mahavishnu. He is the source of. You all should know this. He is the source of all universes. Okay? From his body emanates all the golden from his pores, all these golden-like universes come out. At the same time, he, just prior to the creation of these universes, what does he do? He what? Glances, yeah. He glances. And in his glancing, it is also a potency. Now, when we glance, people can sue us. But when the Lord glances, it's not. It's a potency, so powerful that it is the potency he invests in, that glancing potency. He is known as Shambhu, a very special personality. Lord Shiva has an amazing array of services that he does for the creation aspect, particularly in the material realm. He's so unique because Lord Shiva exists in the Brahma Jyoti, just in the Viraj river and within the planetary system. So that he's in Kailas. So within the universe, he's in many places also. He's in Kailas, he's in his own planet, he's also with Kuvera, he's in the bottom of the universe, in, what is that local? It'll come to me, but in one of the hellish planets also. And also he's the favorite person for all the ghostly beings, you know. You may wonder why is he doing that. It's actually a service. He's trying to encourage all those living entities to give up such a lifestyle, to take up devotional practice sooner or later. Even impersonalists are taken care by Lord Shiva, like that. So it's a unique person like that. So from Mahavishnu, what is the next expansion? Garbho Dakashaya Vishnu. Is there one or many? Only one? Okay, good. One in each universe, not planet, universe. So basically, unlimited number. Now you all should know this because this is our understanding of, what is the title of the first canto? Creation. So you should know our Vedic standard of what creation is, right? So he expands to Garbha Dakashaya Vishnu within each universe. Now simultaneously, he also expands. Who expands this time? I mean, the answer is correct, but who is the one who's expanding? Garbha Dakashaya Vishnu. And he expands into Shiro Dakashaya Vishnu within each universe. And this Shiro Dakashaya Vishnu is also very unique. He has many names. What's the famous one? Paramatma. Okay? Yeah. Paramatma. Now everybody knows what Paramatma. Where else is the Paramatma? He's in the heart of every living entity as well as in each and every atom, inside and outside. That is so far out. No, honestly, it's far out, isn't it? He exists simultaneously everywhere. And at the same time, he also goes into the Pradhan with Shambhu and Kala Shakti together with the, who else? Most important. The creation is meant for who? Living entities. Okay, so the living entities all come into, and then the Pradhan becomes, it gets what? Agitated and becomes Mahatattva. And when it becomes Mahatattva, it also changes into the three modes of material energy. And at the same time, because the living entity wants to be independent of Krishna, the element Ahankar is also part of the Mahatattva. And so the Ahankar combines with the different modes and creates different elements. With the mode of goodness, he creates the creation of the demigods take place. Now this all explains in the second and third cantos. Okay, right. At least you should know how our creation takes place, so that when you meet people, at least you should know something, Yeah. Otherwise you'll say, how is creation? Well, Krishna created us, But if you break it down and then tell them how exactly it combines and so on, people will think that we have more information. They'll think twice before arguing with us, Yeah. So don't be afraid to say it. And even if you don't know, it's okay, because the Lord in your heart will be very pleased with you. Okay? Yeah. Be very brave when you speak about our philosophy. Don't be shy or think that it hasn't got enough information in it. I'll read a little bit more and then I'll tell you why it's important for us to have full faith in Srila Prabhupada's words and the scripture. If I should cease to work, then all humanity would be misdirected. I would also be the cause of creating unwanted population, and I would thereby destroy the peace of all sentient beings. Why is he saying that? All of you should know this, right? This is Bhagavad Gita. It's okay if I'm not going to say you don't know. Maybe you know, but you're afraid to say it. What is it? Yes. And? Why? Yeah, that's right. Because the point is Arjuna is a very famous personality. So famous. Everybody knows him, right? The three worlds, upper planetary, lower planetary, in earthly planet, every single dude knows that and dudettes, okay? They all know Arjuna so well, And so when Arjuna decides not to, fight, then he's setting a bad example. Just like when Prabhupada, one time in the airplane, he was given a champagne. So Prabhupada disciples told me this. So Prabhupada didn't know what it was. So he thought it was just some drink, Then he drank. Nice. And then he put it back. But it doesn't mean we all can go and take champagne. Right. You may be laughing. I know one devotee who was initiated. So in the initiation, Srila Prabhupada did not ask him what are the 4 regulatory principles. So he breaks the principles. So we asked him, and he said, because Prabhupada didn't ask me. So you can see, even though we read Prabhupada's books, and he emphasizes so clearly we should follow the rules and regulations, yet there are jivatmas who have the gall to say, well, Prabhupada didn't ask me. But that devotee has one good quality. And that good quality is that the devotee goes out every day to do book distribution. Yeah. So even though I'm like, I respect that devotee. But it's not a blanket rule for all the rest of us, okay? We should follow nicely. And so this is another reason why Krishna says that. Because if Krishna does something silly, people would also do silly things. And say, well, Krishna did it. And in fact, there are people who try to follow. In Austin, there is in Texas, Austin, there is a place where this people, Kripalu Maharishi, yeah, I think he died. He sent 2 disciples there. So they opened this place called Radha Dham, right? No, Radha Dham. So they only have Radha as the main deity, no Krishna. And so they have all this thing going on. And then the main personality, he claims to be Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. I'm not joking. But anyway, this is some time ago. And he had his disciple, and his disciple claimed to be Shirodakashaya Vishnu. And so this Garbhodakashaya Vishnu started to mess around with the ladies who came to the temple, because he wanted to have his Rasa Leela, like that. But so much so that the people complained to the local authorities, and then finally the FBI stepped in. And so they did an investigation. They found these guys were all taking money and stuff like that. And so they passed, I think, a police thing to arrest that person. So guess what? Both Garbhodakashayi Vishnu and Shirodakashayi Vishnu ran to Mexico. So this is what happens when you do not understand the philosophy properly, or you pretend to be. And Kripalu, he met Srila Prabhupada, and then Srila Prabhupada, I believe, asked him to join our movement, but he refused, and he started his own movement, and he calls it International Society for Divine Love. Yeah. He copies everything, the books, everything. He copied everything from Prabhupada. And they were saying he is Krishna himself. And you know how he died? I was in Vrindavan and I heard, I think he died in 2016. So he was taking shower, he fell and hit his head on the bathtub and died. And that probably in Vrindavan, yeah. So you got some blessings there. It doesn't mean if you die in Vrindavan, you'll immediately go back to Godhead. I have read that those who are not following properly and so on, they take birth as animals, monkeys, pigs, stuff like that. Yeah. But in any case, if you can leave your body in the Dham, it's glorious. Whoever it is, they get purified by the Lord's mercy. Okay, whatever action a great man performs, common man will follow, and whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. The same reason, because Arjuna is a great person. All the above statements by the Lord apply to different plenary portions of the Lord, namely his expansions such as Shankarshan, Vasudeva, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Narayana. These are all he himself in different transcendental expansions, and still the Lord as Sri Krishna functions in a different sphere of transcendental exchange with different grades of devotees. This is a very important point here Srila Prabhupada raises. What are some of the things that you gathered in that few sentences? Let me read again. All the above statements by the Lord apply to different plenary portions of the Lord, namely his expansions such as Sankarshan, Vasudeva, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Narayana. Okay, what does that mean? Huh? Okay, who is independent? Okay, Krishna, the original personality of Godhead, is independent from all his different expansions. And then what else? They all act differently. Each of them are unique personalities. Okay? Sometimes we confuse and we may think they're the same person. They are same in one sense, but they are not. They are unique individuals. So Pradyumna is different, Sankarshan is different, Narayana is different. If you're wondering how is that possible, chapter, Krishna book or Bhagavatam, Canto 10, chapter 80, 88, I'm not sure, where the Brahmana, he loses his sons. He has 10 children and they all die. And so he comes to Yudhishthira Maharaj and he says, you're the king, my children are all dying and I'm a perfect Brahmana, so the fault must lie with the king. Right? It's amazing. In those Vedic culture, the society is perfectly managed by the king, and so everything goes smoothly if they follow the principles properly. But if the kings don't do that or administer properly, then there are repercussions or some bad things can happen. And so the Brahmana, knowing well that he is doing his duties properly, had the courage to come to the Kshatriya king and say, look, there's something amiss in the way you are managing. Tell me what's wrong. or my wife's going to have another child now, and I don't know, every time the child appears and they disappear, So imagine, if you have a child and then all of a sudden the child disappears, what shock you'd go through, So, in front of Maharaj Yudhishthira, Arjuna jumps up and says, I will protect, and no one can steal your child, And then Krishna later on tells him, you're a fool. Why didn't you consult with me first? Why do you rashly make promises like that? And if you can't do it, what, you're going to kill yourself? He does that in the war, in the Kurukshetra battle also. And Krishna again chastises him, One of the things that we learn from that episodes is that we shouldn't make vows foolishly. All right, if you all want to take vows or make vows, consult with a few devotees before you make a vow, like for Kartik Vrat and so on, or I'm going to fast from sweets for 1 month. Big deal, Most people fast from sweets because they want to lose weight, So if your goal is to lose weight, then why Kartik, There's better things to achieve during the month of Kartik than to lose weight. So anyway, if you want to take vrata, make sure you consult with a few devotees in Krishna consciousness. Any vrat, if you want to make a vow to go to a pilgrimage or whatever, with your guru or whatever, consult with them. Make sure it is reasonable. It's that you can do it. It's doable, right? Like that, Don't make a vow. And I've seen it over my 35 years of Krishna consciousness. People make big vows, and then the whole month of Kartik, their face is so long, So anyone looking at them saying, this is Kartik vow, right? You should be happy doing the vows. Actually, you should be happy in Krishna consciousness. And if you aren't happy, how are you going to be attractive to any lay person who walks into the temple during Kartik time? They say, don't go during Kartik time, The devotees are very sad. But Kartik time, so many pastimes are wonderful pastimes that Krishna happen. So we should be very joyful like that, So as devotees help each other to make proper vows, and so you all find performing Krishna consciousness is a joy, not a disappointment like that. All right, continuing. These are all he himself in different transcendental expansions. Still the Lord, as Sri Krishna, functions in a different sphere of transcendental exchange with different grades of devotees. So within this planetary arrangement in Vaikuntha, there are different types of devotees living in different planetary systems in the spiritual world. Well, basically, if you look at the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada explains that we have 5 kinds of rasa or relationship with Krishna. The first one is Shanta or neutrality. Second, Dasya or servant. Third one, Sakya or friendship. Fourth one is Vatsalya or parental. And the last one is Madhurya or conjugal. Okay, so this relationship exists in the spiritual realm, all of them. And therefore, the Lord reciprocates accordingly. So you will see, even in reading the Krishna book, right, how he participates trying to see. Well, anyway, with the cowherd boys, and then how he participates or has relationship with the gopis. It's diametrically opposite. The way he behaves, it's so different, and you wonder, is this the same person or not? So therefore, from here, Srila Prabhupada says, the Lord functions in a different sphere of transcendental exchange with different grades of devotees. So he puts on a different persona when he meets the cowherd boys, when he meets the elderly cowherd men or women, he puts on a different persona. When he meets the cows and so on, he puts on a different persona. Now, when Prabhupada was asked, does Krishna love different personalities differently? Prabhupada said no. He said he loves all of them equally. It is the rasa or the loving exchange that differs. Okay? All right, so please understand that. And yet, Lord Krishna, as he is, appears once every 24 hours of Brahma's time. How long does Brahma live for? No, almost there. 311 trillion and 40 billion. You got it, almost there. Maybe your Brahma is a bit, he has a longer life. Okay, so but the lifespan here given for one day is 8,640,000,000 years. This is two parts, day and night. So generally when you read in Prabhupada's book, he will quote the day, 4,320,000,000 years. So then you will think that's the whole day. No, you have to always double it. So this is one day. So he lives for 100 years. So 30 days in a month, you can calculate, it'll come to 311.40 billion years, like that. Okay. It's good to know. Then you'll appreciate that actually you are insignificant, compared to Brahma. It's like, Brahma just winks and we are gone, If you think about it, isn't it? It's far out, So when we look at Brahma, his eyelid is about to close in ever slow motion like that, yeah?
When we calculate 311 billion, do we count the big mass and all those things?
Everything is there.
No, but that 311 billion, that is wrong.
Huh? No. No. Don't go into so fine tuning on all this, because Prabhupada didn't worry about all those things. Yeah.
311 billion or 40 billion, there is no difference.
No, we are saying he has a long life.
You are finding difference with him, $40 million.
No, we're just having a nice discussion here. Yeah. There's a rush between me and him, which you couldn't understand. Yeah. So it's okay. Now you're all right. Yeah.
Maybe you can't understand what is the relation with me and Krishna.
Yes, I don't know. Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. Yeah. In any case, we continue. But in that routine spool, which means cyclical, the functions of Lord Krishna, Lord Vasudeva, etc., are complex problems for the lay person. That means those without proper knowledge, those who are not in the disciplic succession, those who do not take up the study of Krishna consciousness or under a tutelage of a Guru Parampara, for them they have difficulty trying to accept this information. They will come out, they will argue with us and stuff like that. All right? There is no difference between the Lord's self and the Lord's transcendental body. Okay? So he is Satchidananda. There's no difference between him, his hands, his body, or so on and so forth. Simply by looking, the Lord can take the bhoga. He can taste the bhoga. When we look at it, we will contaminate the bhoga. It's true. According to scripture, when we look at bhoga, we lust and we contaminate it. But the Lord, he looks, he actually tastes it, And it's wonderful. I was in Tota Gopinath temple last couple of weeks ago, and And the Pujari, we went there early in the morning in Mangala Arati, so the Pujari showed us the Lord's form actually. He took out all his covering and so on. And it's far out. If ever you all have an opportunity, go and see this deity. He's sitting on Padma Asana. And then he's holding his flute like that. So beautiful. Really, really beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful deities I've seen, you know, apart from ISKCON deities. Really beautiful. You all should go and see it. Before they say foreigners can't see, you know. Because we could go and watch it. It's beautiful. When the Lord, however, appears in his person as Lord Sri Krishna, his other plenary portions also join in him by his inconceivable potency called Yoga Maya. That means when the Lord appears as himself in the pastime, in earthly pastime, all the other plenary portions are actually in him at the same time. Okay, Narasingha, Ram, everything is in him. And this is managed by his special inconceivable potency called Yoga Maya. Very special, unique. And this Yoga Maya understands Krishna's will. It's not that Krishna has to think about it. It is so spontaneous that it automatically acts what he wants. We have to plan, you know, okay, I'm going here, I'm going to have to make sure this is done. You call ahead and tell, you know, please arrange for this. No, Yoga Maya knows everything. Krishna doesn't have to think. What he wants is already done. This is like amazing. We can never understand these things. And this is inconceivable again. Huh? It's just far out, you know. And you know, that's his will, the will of the Lord. And when he needs to think back, like, you know, when he's like a little kid, and when he has to think as a Supreme Lord, the Yoga Maya moves away, and it's spontaneous. He doesn't even have to say, okay, stop covering me, you know. He doesn't have to think like that. It just goes. And so it's an amazing potency that we will never understand. Okay. And thus the Lord Krishna of Vrindavan is different from the Lord Krishna of Mathura or the Lord Krishna of Dwaraka. In Mathura and Dwaraka, he is also two-handed as well as four-handed. So know that. And in Dwaraka, he also carries his flute sometimes. Okay. The Virat Rupa of Lord Krishna is also different from him by his inconceivable potency. What is the Virat Rupa? Huh? Chakra? No. It's a universal form. So what it is made of? It is only manifested within this material universe. So he uses the material elements to show his form. It is his form, but it is not an eternal form. The material elements. So Virat Rupa is made of material elements. So it is not an eternal form. Okay. But it is his form nevertheless. But it is not an eternal form. It's a temporary manifestation by the Lord. He showed it to Arjuna. Okay. Therefore, the Virat Rupa exhibited on the battlefield of Kurukshetra is the material conception of his form. Therefore, it should be understood that when Lord Krishna was apparently killed by the bow and arrow of the hunter, the Lord left his so-called material body in the material world. So where did he leave his body? Near? Under a banyan tree? Near where? Prabhashetra, yes, very good, yeah. And this form he left, it's interesting, he is transcendental. But when the hunter shot it, he left the body like that. Why? What was the reason he left it? Go ahead, Prabhu. Yes, yeah. Yes, he wanted to confuse those people as well. Yeah. For devotees, we know the Lord is playing a pastime. He just left a material body. But for those who don't accept the Lord, they will say, there you go. He's just an ordinary person. He's left behind a material body. And so they feel happy. And also they will stop then becoming offensive to Krishna. Okay? So when you read the Bhagavad Gita, there's a lot of parts in the Bhagavad Gita as well as in the Bhagavatam where it's written in such a way that it will confuse the people who are not devotees. And then it will also give information for non-devotees. They want to find fault in Krishna. The Bhagavatam says, here are some faults. Take it and be satisfied. Like that. So that's why he left that body, so that they will be satisfied. But the Lord is Kaivalya. Kaivalya means transcendental. Right? No matter. He's transcendental. But at the same time, anything that comes from the Lord, he can also pull it back within himself. He can reabsorb it. So the Lord, this material universe, he can reabsorb the whole thing. So he has the potency to manifest as well as reabsorb the entire creation within himself. So it is, we cannot say it is different. In one sense it's different, but in another sense it's still his potency. So this portion here that we are reading is actually where Prabhupada writes, all such activities are simultaneously one and different by his inconceivable potency, refers to the Achintya Veda Tattva. The simultaneously one and different. Right? It's a fundamental point and principle in our philosophy, and we should know that because it helps us understand many, many things. Okay, so then finally Prabhupada says, when Maharaj Yudhishthira was lamenting the possibility of his disappearance, it was just in pursuance of a custom of lamenting the disappearance of a great friend. So his relationship with Krishna is in the Sakya Rasa. But factually the Lord never quits his transcendental body. But as a friend, he left. So he's feeling separation from his friend, like that. Such as misconceived by less intelligent persons, such less intelligent persons have been condemned by the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita, and they are known as mudhas, right? Avajananti ma mudha. So that's what Prabhupada is referring here. That the Lord left his body means that he left again his plenary portions in the respective dhams, transcendental abodes, as he left his Virat Rupa in the material world. Now, there was a servant of Srila Prabhupada, 69, moon landing. So, Purushottam Prabhu, So, at that time when they were landing and so on, Prabhupada used to say, no, they didn't land on the moon. So Prabhupada would joke in front of Purushottam. He would just he would joke so much that one time when somebody came running to Prabhupada in his room and say, "Where's Janaki?" And then Prabhupada, Purushottam standing next to him, and then Prabhupada looks at Purushottam and say, "Janaki has gone to the moon." Because Purushottam didn't believe with what Prabhupada was saying. So he was very dubious. His mentality was, not so focused. So Prabhupada was always teasing him like that. So then Prabhupada noted that he was also lacking enthusiasm, and he was not doing his duties as enthusiastic as he used to do. And so Prabhupada just was watching like that. So one day, I wrote it down because I thought this is so funny. Both Purushottam and Yamuna were together in Prabhupada's room. Purushottam he was spotting several days of growth beard, and he's actually a brahmachari. He's wearing orange. And he was wearing the same orange sweater, Prabhupada noted, that he slept in. So that's a no-no. It's very unclean. Whereas Yamuna was neat and clean. I mean, she is really good, When you talk about cleanliness in ISKCON, Yamuna Mataji is the standard. She had 2 cotton saris, yet every day she had a freshly washed and ironed sari. Yeah. So you don't want to stand next to her. Looking at both his servants, Srila Prabhupada told Yamuna, "You have so many saris. They are all so beautiful." Yamuna looked in surprise and replied, "I don't have many, Srila Prabhupada." Prabhupada says, "No, you are wearing a new piece of cloth every day. It's so nice. You're always looking so neat and clean. And your tilak, oh, Purushottam, what do you think?" Who do you think has the best tilak? Purushottam did not answer. He kept quiet. Then Prabhupada said, "Beautiful tilak means beautiful person." It's amazing. So the same evening, around 6 o'clock, Yamuna is cooking puris and potatoes for Srila Prabhupada. And then she was cooking downstairs. And so Prabhupada is upstairs. So Prabhupada rings the bell. Ding, 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 ding. And then she left what she was doing. She's frying puris. And she ran up to see Srila Prabhupada. Then Prabhupada started talking about the evening program. He wanted to give some lecture and so on. So he continued talking. And she forgot about the oil burning in the kitchen. And then after he finished talking about what he wanted to talk, he said, "So will the prasadam be ready for the evening discourse?" And she said, "Oh, Srila Prabhupada, I have left the ghee on fire." And so she ran down. So when she came down, the whole kitchen was, filled with smoke, black smoke and fire. So she shouted for the servant, Purushottam, "Purushottam, Purushottam." So he came and together they fought with the fire and somehow they extinguished the fire and there was not so much serious damage. But when you walk into a black smoke and with soot, your whole body gets dirty. So both Purushottam and Yamuna were covered in black soot, very badly. The faces were black. Purushottam's orange sweater, his robes, Yamuna's saris were all blackened. And just as they were trying to organize the kitchen, Srila Prabhupada rings his bell. Ding, 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 ding. And then they rush up to tell Prabhupada about the fire. So when they went up, Janaki comes. So she comes in the kitchen and thinks, "Oh my God, what happened?" So she rushes up to Srila Prabhupada's room. And when she comes into the room, she sees both Yamuna and Purushottam standing in front of Prabhupada. And then she barges in and says, "What happened here? What happened?" Srila Prabhupada looks at her and then very soberly says, "Today, Purushottam has gone to the moon." So then Purushottam goes, "What?" Or rather Janaki goes, "What?" And Srila Prabhupada repeats, "Today Purushottam has gone to the moon." Then Purushottam, he says, "Prabhupada, I'm a brahmachari. Why are you talking like that?" So Prabhupada looks at him and said, "Being a brahmachari is no restriction for going to the moon." He says, "Anyone can go." And then Srila Prabhupada winked at him. And then after that, a few weeks later, Purushottam didn't have that courage and he didn't have the faith. Nayam lokasti na paro na sukham na samsayatmanaha. Krishna says in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, if you don't have faith in scriptures, if you don't have faith in the spiritual master, you will sooner or later give up the idea of practicing even Krishna consciousness. So he tells Prabhupada one day, I said, "Prabhupada, I want to leave you." "No, I can't. It's just this, the moon landing, this and that." And then Prabhupada said, "Why don't you just stay one more day? I'm leaving tomorrow." Then he agrees. And then he goes. So then Brahmananda walks in and Prabhupada said, "I can understand that he cannot believe in me and he doesn't agree with what I say, but how is it that he does not accept the Shastra?" So this is a very important point for all of us. So whatever we read in the Bhagavatam, like today's verse, and the purport Srila Prabhupada writes about the inconceivable nature of Sri Krishna, we should develop very strong faith. And the only way you can develop, or we all can develop such strong faith, is in the association of devotees, or in the association of like-minded devotees. Huh? And then we exchange such ideas and knowledge, and then we'll become good devotees with strong faith. And that's wanted in our movement. Okay? So, 9 o'clock, comments, questions, corrections. Yeah. Yes. Vows, yeah. Yes. First, don't go on the internet. That's the last thing you want to do to find out information. Unless you know Prabhupada's books very well, don't go on the internet. Internet is called the World Wide Web, it's a web, and web is all complicated. So when you go and get information from a web, it is complicated. Srila Prabhupada he understood we are all very fallen. I mean, we have to accept all of us are really fallen. We are on his behalf, by his mercy, we are sitting even here speaking. But actually, we know that we are not so qualified. So he has made the whole process very simple for us. In fact, he told his disciple, hold on to my dhoti and I'll take you through the back door of Krishna. So he's so compassionate, so wonderful. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, where he talks about, I believe, Madhavendra Puri, you can do a search in the folio, Chaturmasya, and there he says, for the first month, he says you do not eat. He says spinach. He doesn't say green leafy vegetables. So I go by that. I don't care about anything else. I say Prabhupada says spinach, I follow that. And my spiritual master says spinach, so I follow that. Then the second month he says yogurt. Yeah. So that's all I will give up. Then the third month, milk. So I don't drink milk. Not even sweeteners, condensed, or sometimes people say that, no, it's okay, it's not milk, it's sweet. And then the last month is urad dal. And urad dal is only for the South Indians. They will cry, because they can't eat their idli, dosa and stuff like that. But otherwise, the others will be okay, So you're not going to miss those things. And that's all I follow. And if I want, I just increase my reading and I chant. If I make the vow, I'll chant 25 rounds like that. I don't want to make my life difficult. I want to be happy every day. No, honestly, I don't want to get up and say, "Oh my God, I got to do all this," right? You want to be happy doing it, and you want to go out and book distribution, Or you can make a vow, say, "I will eat chocolates for the whole month of Kartik," like that. That's an austerity, right? You don't think it's an austerity? Like that. So anyway, yeah, it's there in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's it. Prabhupada never says you have to cut your fingernail or don't have to cut fingernail, carrots, this and that. He would have done that. I think Prabhupada is so intelligent, he would have said all those things. Why would he not say that? Now, of course, there are some gurus have certain rules for their disciples, so you have to go and talk to your spiritual master. I'm not covering him, okay? I'm just saying what Srila Prabhupada said, and that what I have been instructed, and that's what I follow. Okay? So, yeah, for some gurus, they have instructions for their disciples to follow. They should follow accordingly. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu, you have.
You just mentioned that the form which died under the tree, that is the form of Krishna, which was during Mahabharata time or Bhagavad Gita time, was temporary. So can you please tell us which form is eternal?
Transcendental forms are eternal. Sachit Ananda forms are eternal. Oh no, these are different. Once you have to also understand in the 11th canto, Krishna also says, his forms where you make and worship him as such, they are transcendental. Yeah. So if you worship the form that is left by Krishna under the tree, yes, it is transcendental. Yeah. According to your relationship with Krishna, Krishna will reciprocate and reveal himself. Just like when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's disciples were rushing to see the deities for Aarti in Vrindavan when he was giving a class, then when they went to see, and then he said, did you see the deities? They said, yes. He said, no, you did not see the deities. You didn't see Krishna. Because you cannot see Krishna without the sanction of the spiritual master, actually. So yeah, so it depends on the circumstance and the context which we relate to Krishna. Okay? Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes. See, I never investigated all those things, and so I don't think I'm an expert in that. I've never heard Prabhupada said we have to do those Bhishma Panchaka also. But devotees do that, and I don't find faults in that also. It's up to them. Some devotees need those austerities. Sometimes people need certain things to be convinced that this works for them. For others, you don't need that, So it's basically your faith, how strong it is. If you feel that simply following what your guru has given you, you will be protected, And so I don't think you need to worry about so much about that. Unless you yourself want to do it, then you can, sanction someone or talk to the GBC, SAC, Shastrik Advisory Group and say, is Bhishma Panchaka required in our movement? Who knows what they will come up with, Yeah. Better to go back to God in this life so you don't have more rules, Yeah, don't. Why? Look, you're already a complicated lady. So why do you want to complicate your life further? Right or not? Correct or not? Okay, so don't complicate. Yeah, exactly. Chant extra rounds. Prabhupada said, always, if you listen to many of his lectures, he'll say, if you have time, chant. That's all he says. He never says, go and stand on your head or whatever, Okay, so let's end this here. Thank you so much for your kind attention. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Gaura Premanandi.